What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
All right, hello, True Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to True Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook and Twitch for our WWE Crown Jewel 2023 review, discussing the latest event from Saudi Arabia as only we can. And of course, I am not alone this time, guys, for another pay-per-view review as we discuss the latest WWE Premium Live event. I am joined by my good friend, a marijuana enthusiast, but most importantly, your favorite three-time baby-making champion. This is Ness. What's going on, good sir?
Nothing much on this lovely Sunday afternoon. How are you doing, good brother?
I am doing well. You're doing back-to-back WWE PLEs. You did Fastlane with me and Stephanie Hypes, and now you're here for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, that's what I do on my Saturdays with nothing else to do. Just watch some wrestling. But it helps that it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so not much going on around then, if anything. But yeah, it worked out for the best.
As everyone knows who watches this channel or follows me, I watch a whole bunch of wrestling. So this was like probably the more conveniently timed like wrestling for a day, because the New Japan show started at like 3:30, but they had a prelim match. The main card didn't start till 4 a.m. and the matches that I cared about didn't start till 5 a.m. So I woke up at 5 a.m. So that was convenient. Watched that 3.5 hours of that show. Got an hour of sleep. Did True Heel Heat. Right into Crown Jewel for 3.5 hours. Then I was able to take a nap and then had Collision at the end of the night. So I will say I like WWE with the afternoon Saturday shows.
Because then it would have been a double whammy with Collision. And if this was a regular PLE, it would have ran at 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night into like midnight. Past,
with the presser too, yeah, definitely into midnight. But yes, I like these afternoon shows, and we got something to look forward to for next year. Is that we have 2 Saudi shows. We got the Bash in the Berlin, so that's going to be another early show. You got the Australian show, the Elimination Chamber in Perch. in February, so that's going to be an earlier show. So we're going to get more early WWE shows. This is a positive WWE, a big positive. But we thank all of y'all for joining us here live. If you're watching us on demand, we appreciate you as well. Always appreciate y'all who join us for any of these live streams and any of these pay-per-view reviews. We do pay-per-view previews and reviews for every single major event from WWE, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, even Impact Wrestling, and much, much more here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. But most importantly, the simplest thing you could do to help us out, drop the thumbs up on this video, show that appreciation back. By that helps out the YouTube algorithms, helps more people to see this video. And of course, we love to interact with all of you. So sound off in the live chat. Send us your thoughts about WWE Crown Jewel 2023. We will highlight as many comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, we would love a super chat donation because it goes back to all the contributors that you see here. We are a self-funded channel. So everything that you give, it goes to everyone that you see here contributing to the channel. And of course, we will highlight your comment on screen if you do so. We got G Loke in the chat who says, what it do at True Hill Heat. We got Safet here with us. We also got one of our favorite members, Vala B, who said sup. He's even here for the WWE events. We only usually expect Vala B for True Hill Heat and our NJPW coverage, but I appreciate him coming for WWE.
Very much appreciated, yeah.
Hey, we see Blue in the chat. It's very rare to see Blue. What's going on, Blue? He says, sup, y'all? What's going on? We also got Queen Monet in the chat who says hello. We got Frantic World who says, what's up, SP3, Ness, and chat. We got Chuckle. We got Stu in the chat who says, hey, what's going on, good brother? Thank you for joining us. Another person that would regularly see him for a New Japan coverage. I appreciate you coming out for a WWE pay-per-view review. To be fair to Valabi, I am wrong. Yes, you are right, Valabi. I'm on every pay-per-view review, dude. You are the man. I'm gonna anoint you. This is me with my phone, putting it on your shoulder. I'm knighting you. You are head moderator of the chat because you're the person that I expect to see here. So I do expect you, and you do hold it down in the chat too, Valabi. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
see,
definitely.
this is me trying to be nice to Valabi because I ripped him apart during our Power Struggle preview because he's a Sonata fan. So I'm sorry, man. I know. I'm talking to another LIJ fan.
But well, man, but that's a whole other conversation. Wrestle Kingdom, I'm torn. You know how I feel about Sonata and Naito, but you know that's a whole other conversation. That's a whole other stream. We'll get to that eventually.
It is very true. We got Frantic Rail that says SP3, that Will Ospreay versus Shoto Amino match was great. Are you going to give it 5 stars? You will have to find out tomorrow on our Power Struggle review. We're going to be here live, me, J News, and Sanal, where we'll be breaking down the NJPW Power Struggle event. I will say the Power Struggle event was excellent. I very much enjoyed Power Struggle. So show your love for that tomorrow when we go live. We got Xavier in the chat, the good brother. Thank you for showing up in the chat. Say it's up, True Hill Heat. Thank you for joining us. Remember to drop those thumbs up, drop a heart emoji if you're watching us over on Facebook. However, WWE Crown Jewel made you feel. But you know how we start these pay-per-view reviews. So give me your one word to describe your feelings about WWE Crown Jewel 2023.
It was good. I'm trying to think of a word that was better than good, but not like too much better than good. But I'm just gonna go with good because I enjoyed it. It was good.
Better. I'll just say better. It was an upgrade from the last 2 shows, but not that we're not at the level where we were at. Like WWE was on probably its strongest stretch of premium live events from like, I would say it starts back like last year when Triple H started over, from like Clash at the Castle onwards up until probably SummerSlam was the first miss. And I don't think they have gotten back to that level yet, but this was better than Payback and Fastlane.
Yeah, agreed.
We got in the let us know in the chat your one word to describe your feelings of WWE Crown Jewel. Love to hear from all of you. We got Chris who says, okay. I think that's pretty much been like the feeling about the event. Like I said, Payback, Fastlane, Crown Jewel. Like you like even before we went live, you were talking about how you enjoyed the event and you're high on the event. You won't go above good because it's not anything above good. It's not anything like Backlash, which was a B pay-per-view, but it had one of the most memorable crowds we ever seen. Had Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Like, we're gonna remember that a year from now. Like Money in the Bank in London and that electric crowd and how they responded to LA Knight and the Money in the Bank with the botched Spanish Fly from Ricochet and Logan Paul and the women's Money in the Bank with EO winning and the whole ending, which was one of the best endings ever. And then the main event with Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns. You're going to remember those events. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be remembering this Crown Jewel like I'm going to remember those two events. And that's not even the two best events for me for WWE this year. I'm not even talking about like WrestleMania 39 Night 1 or anything like that. I'm just talking about two particular events that were more memorable than this.
Yeah, and then it's kind of hard because then like every year we do our own like poll of stuff out of the years and all the the companies and their shows, and like just like you said, just those few we didn't even get through the whole year. So trying to remember everything, but outside of that, I don't think that Crown Jewel will be on anybody's list of anything, unless you're trying to be a troll. But other than that, I don't think it's going to be on anybody's list of the best PLEs of this year.
Yeah, because it's really hard because late in the year, you really have to have like a blowaway show. Like last year, I think like Full Gear and like Survivor Series, I thought were both great shows. I thought Full Gear was like one of AEW's better shows after a stretch of like shows that were just not All Out. It followed All Out. Followed All Out 2022, which no one remembers the great matches on that show. They just remember what happened after the show. But like Full Gear was so great, but a lot of people didn't have it on like their year-end list or any of the matches on it because it's so late in the year. You really have to have like this blow away, like ridiculously legendary show at the end of the year to get into the like best of the year list. Yeah. We got Tony in the chat who says Crown Jewel deserved 4 out of 5 stars for him. He also says that though, if Kairi Sane didn't return to the WWE, it would have gotten a 2 out of 5 stars.
Man, I don't even know if I want to respond to that right now or wait till we. You don't have to. You don't have to. It's not a super chat. It's just a comment. Tony, if you want to put that in the super chat, you want to make him talk about it early, you could do that, sir. Any dollar amount matters. And of course, we appreciate the love and the support. But we're going to start the show from top to bottom, and we're going to start on the kickoff show because we had the first WWE kickoff match since Clash at the Castle last year, September 2022. And it was Sami Zayn making the first entrance of the night. A huge reaction from the Saudi Arabia crowd. I love that Sami Zayn for so long did not show up on these Saudi Arabia shows, and then he's greeted with a hero's welcome in the shoe shows that he's done since then. He got the crowd on their feet, riled up as he went one-on-one with JD McDonagh. This was a short match. It was still a kickoff style matchup, but boy, oh boy, did these two guys like beat the hell out of each other. We had one spot where Sami tries for a monkey flip and JD McDonagh doesn't fully rotate and he just falls like into the ropes and has like this weird like sick rope burn on his rib cage throughout the matchup. He beats down on Sami for a lot of this, hits a big Spanish fly and gets a 2 count. JD's moonsault is met with raised boots. Sami follows up with a luva kick in the corner and then gets the win with the Blue Thunder Bomb. 9 minutes 45 seconds. This was a pretty good matchup to kick off the show. I'm going to give it 3 stars. What did you think? I give it 3 stars. Solid match to kick the show off.
Yeah, nothing.
I'm actually surprised that they had a match on the free show. Like you said, it's been so long that there wasn't one. We would go live for the watch-alongs, and then we'd just be sitting here, video package, panel talks. panel talks, video package, panel talks. Like it was kind of just like burning us out at one point.
Yeah.
So for a lot of the times, we were just like, no, we're going to start when the show actually starts. But for them to actually have a match on the pre-show, and it actually is a decent match too. You know, it was good, especially like you said, the heroes welcome for Sami for so long. You know, he stepped foot in the country, and you didn't know if he was even going to make it home alive.
Yeah, that too.
Now, he's one of the he gets one of the biggest pops over there. You know, which is it's always great. One of my favorites. It's always nice to see. You know, he get his fanfare. It's definitely deserving.
Absolutely, and I love him coming out with the the all white garb that he did back at Night of Champions. But good way to kick off the show. On the kickoff, we got Bella B here who says JD overselling was fucking hilarious. We got Bella B also saying he did a full-on Shawn Michaels to SummerSlam 2005 sell on a corner whip or Irish whip. His AD does oversell, and you could tell he's been learning from Shawn. He learned from Shawn in NXT.
All that NXT, all that NXT mentoring.
Exactly. We got also in the chat, Frantic World who says, "Why did they put Sami on the kickoff show?" Question. That is a good question. But I don't know what to tell you, folks. I don't know what to tell you with WWE doing that. But that doesn't mean that Sami wasn't on the main card. So we'll get into the main card of the show, which kicked off with the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I've been critical of Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion. And I think that people have confused that with me being critical of Seth Rollins. No, I am critical of the booking of Seth Rollins as World Heavyweight Champion. Not with anything Seth Rollins has done. I think that Seth Rollins has actually produced some of the best in-ring work of his career in 2023, and he has gave us nothing but good to great matches consistently. But like the booking, and once again, this title kicks off a show after you main evented 2 B shows. When it was an important show, you kick off the show. I was like, man, Seth, for all your hard work, they gave you an opening match ass belt.
Yeah. And it doesn't help either that he's facing Drew McIntyre, somebody else that has been on the not the best end of booking and being treated well, being the champion during the pandemic and not getting anything else after that. It's 3 years ago. And that's a whole nother subject because out of the ring, behind the pin, they're still working on, contractual things and all that nature. I don't know everything about that, but I just know that as of right now, he's not yet re-signed or anything like that. So it's it doesn't help. The booking really doesn't help either of these guys at the moment.
But all that withstanding, I thought the build up to this matchup was very well done. And then we get into the actual matchup. Seth Rollins comes out to kick off the main card, gets a great reaction from the Saudi Arabia crowd. Also does Drew McIntyre, who felt like he was getting a louder pop and louder cheers than Seth Rollins throughout this one. And they did the proper in-ring intros with Byron Saxton doing the ring announcing on the show, not Samantha Irvin, which surprised me here. Maybe she's not allowed because that was one too many women. But we get this great shot of Drew staring at the World Heavyweight Championship from behind. And once the bell rang, man, these two guys just went out there and had themselves an absolute banger. We get the filling out process, but then Drew takes advantage with the big running shoulder. He starts posing to the crowd, doing soccer or football poses and stuff like that. Big snap soup. Seth gives Drew a big snap suplex. He knocks him to the floor and hits a big dive, but Drew is able to catch him on the dive and hit a belly-to-belly suplex, and then his focus of the matchup became the bad back of Seth Rollins, whipping him hard into the corner. He was chopping away, kicking him down, even kind of talking trash throughout this one. Every time he would hit a big move, Seth would try to counter back and have a hope spot. He would reverse out of this big it looked like he was going for like an avalanche Samoan drop, and he reversed that into a buckle bomb. He comes back, he hits a big Falcon Arrow, gives Seth a 2 count. He follows up with a big superplex off the top rope. He's looking for the Falcon Arrow, but Drew reverses into a brain buster. Seth would cut off Drew whenever Drew was on the offense, but Drew would hit big moves when it looked like Seth was about to get full control. He hits a big future shock. He gets a near fall on that one, and you can see the frustration growing within Drew McIntyre, who did a fantastic job with his facial expressions throughout the matchup. If Seth Rollins plays possum and does the old inside cradle Bret Hart move that he did to Diesel back at Survivor Series 1995. Great call by Wade Barrett mentioning that. He clotheslines Drew to the floor after the near fall, and then he hits a suicide dive. McIntyre is fine enough to send him back first into the steel steps, though. He then gives him a big side slam onto the apron. Seth's back is in just complete pain. Back in the ring, Seth pulls off a desperation pedigree, but Drew is able to kick out of it. Drew is loading up the Claymore, but Seth reverses that and hits a big super kick. He hits the super kick and then hits the big stomp, and then that only gets him a 2, and you can see the frustration and desperation building up within Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins loads up for another stomp attempt, but Drew is able to move out the way, and he nails him with the Claymore, and we get an even better near fall at like 2.99. The crowd is basically on their feet at this point. Seth goes for a Phoenix Splash. Drew's able to move out the way. Drew loads up for another Claymore, but Seth is able to reverse out of it. He hits a series of super kicks. Then he reverses a big future shock into a pedigree, and then he hits another stomp for the 1-2-3. This match goes 19 minutes, 25 seconds. Seth Rollins retains the World Heavyweight Championship. And like I said, I think that Seth has delivered time after time, especially during his world title run. I thought the matchup with Shinsuke Nakamura, the last man standing match at Fastlane, was excellent. I thought his matches with Finn Balor at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam were great. I thought his match where he won the championship against AJ Styles at Night of Champions was another terrific matchup, but this may have been the best one. This was just an outstanding display of two even competitors. You get the big classic like WWE style main event with the big near falls. You don't get like the announce table breaking or anything like that. But this felt like a babyface versus babyface battle that you would have seen in like the Attitude Era or Ruthless Aggression era. These two guys going hold for hold. I love the kickouts of the Claymore and the stomp. I think it added a lot of drama to the matchup, and the facial expressions, the selling, the psychology, and the storytelling were top notch in this one. I gave the match 4.5 stars, and then the post match was a nice little cherry on top, adding to the story with Drew showing off his frustration as he left the ring, and then Seth Rollins selling the kind of the hurt and the pain that he went through, the punishment that he withstood in this matchup with Drew McIntyre. And then we hear the music of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest comes out to the ring. The crowd is going crazy, building up in anticipation. He hands the referee the briefcase, but then someone in a hoodie pushes him into the ring post, and it's revealed as none other than Sami Zayn, who has vowed to make sure that the Judgment Day does not take full control of WWE, does not get the same power that the Bloodline once had. Sami Zayn prevents this, and then he steals Damian Priest's Money in the Bank briefcase and goes through the crowd as Damian Priest runs after him. And then backstage, we see WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley kind of look at Drew McIntyre like, I told you so. I told you so. You should have listened to me and joined the Judgment Day. What did you think about this matchup, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, and everything that went down in the post-match?
So I also gave this match 4.5 stars. Great to open the show up. So that's where I'm torn at. Like, we have Seth Rollins, who again has been one of the catalysts for Monday Night Raw, carrying that brand. You have him as World Heavyweight Champion. He's doing the work. Also, Drew, who has been another one has been carrying, both of you guys on carrying WWE for the most part, or a part of the team that carries WWE. They go out there, they're relegated to, opening the show, but they set the bar extremely high for everybody that had to follow them after the fact. Again, the match itself, very physical, a lot of back and forth, a lot of near falls. Like at one point, I was pulling for Drew in this match specifically because I'm thinking like, all right, at this point, Rollins has been champ for months. Maybe it's Drew's time. Maybe it's time for Rollins to take some time off, let him like recuperate because we keep hearing about his back. And then like at one point he does the pretty much every match he does the Phoenix Splash reversal, which I personally hate the fact that he never actually hits the Phoenix Splash. But I don't want this guy to tear another ACL.
But I will say, I love the use of it in this matchup because he only went to it after Drew kicked out of the stomp. Like that was like his desperation.
Which it did make sense in this match. So I'm not too upset about that. But like again, these guys set the bar high as hell for the rest of this pay-per-view. And it was a good match. But again, I feel like they're gonna be booked into a corner because you have Drew McIntyre, who most of us feel like he hasn't been getting his just due because of his 2020 pandemic title reign, and like, man, maybe his time to get some. But on the other side, it's, oh man, Rollins is carrying the shit and he's just doing some of the best work of his career. Do I really want to see the end of that? So I was really torn between the two of them. But then those near falls, like when Drew hit the first stomp, I'm usually used to, you got to hit more than one stomp from Seth Rollins for you to defeat anybody. So that first stomp.
To be fair, I think Shinsuke kicked out of the stomp too.
Yeah. So you got to do like more than one for them for it to actually like to put them away. So when he kicked out of the first stomp, I'm like, all right. I'm not even worried about that. Now the Claymore, that's somewhat of a different story.
Yes, they protect the
Claymore. I said, oh, all right, yeah, this is serious. Like, we're going to go the distance here, and then as the match progressed, got even more physical, and then the way it came down to the finish, Seth was just like, look, I got to do more than just another stomp. That, super kick, pedigree, stomp. Yeah, I got to like pile on the assault to get rid of Drew McIntyre because he is an upper echelon of talent, and I can't take him lightly. So that was great. Now, I'm not going to get far as into MVP, LVP stuff at that point. The post-match. This motherfucker, Damian Priest, who I am a big fan of and I'm a huge advocate for. This is just back to the dumbass booking that they have for Judgment Day. You have a group of, I don't know how many individuals, like 5. Let's say 5. Yeah, there's Damian Priest, there's Rhea Ripley, Dom, JD McDonagh, and Finn.
Who's just a fanboy.
At this point, at this point, he's just a fanboy. So if I'm coming out to cash in my Money in the Bank contract, we're gonna fuck you up first. This is not fair. Like, I'm not being fair about this.
We're not doing the fair one.
Yeah, we're not doing a fair one, and that's exactly how. Like, this is how I took it. All right, yeah, he just had a match, but I would have came out, attacked you, or the group of us would have came out, attacked you, and then I would have cashed in. I felt like because Seth, yeah, he just wrestled a match, but he looked like he could go another 10 minutes. In my opinion, he looked he didn't look gassed or anything like that. Looked like he could have kept going. So the fact that Damian Priest comes out, oh yeah, I wanna cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase and do it in a not so heelish way. Like, yeah, it was after Seth's match, but I feel like he didn't really take advantage of the situation the way that he should have. All for that to just get the Money in the Bank briefcase stolen from Sami Zayn. So now you didn't even use it to the proper, ability that you should have, and then you got it stolen from you. So now you look even more stupid. But that's a whole nother conversation that we'll go on, further into tonight, further into the show. But again, 4.5 stars. Those guys definitely set the bar for the rest of the show. And kudos to Seth Rollins for, keeping the, staying WWE World Heavyweight Champion. But now I want to see what this does for Drew. Just as far as a character, is he going to be like, I don't need the Judgment Day, or maybe being with the Judgment Day wouldn't be so bad. Does he go on his own villain arc, like fuck Seth Rollins, fuck the Judgment Day as well? Like there's so many ways that they can go with this, and I'm actually going to be looking out to see where they go with it, because I'm actually interested in what they do with Drew going forward.
I've been huge on Drew as of late on Monday Night Raw. I've been calling him the most interesting man on Monday Night Raw, because he really is. He's been kind of the person who I always want to know what's going on with him. And every kind of week he adds a new wrinkle to this new character where he's not really a babyface, he's not really a heel. But so it's very interesting how they got him now, and I think this loss here should be a catalyst for the next chapter of where this is going, whether this is a slow burn heel turn or a completely different character. We got Frantic World, who says in the chat, Adam Copeland had the best cash in. I think Seth Rollins had the best cash in.
Me personally, yeah, that's mine. That's my favorite.
I think it's Seth, Dolph, Edge.
And then Dolph, man, that's what a time that was.
It's hard to argue, man. That was like you had to. Yeah, that's one of those moments you tell the young kids you had to be there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you had to be there. It was a moment in time. But yes, we go on to the next matchup here on the show, which was for the WWE Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley defending in a fatal 5-way against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez. Rhea Ripley got the big pomp and circumstance entrance with the guys in Indian garb coming out and making a whole entranceway path for her. Got this cool little shot right here. And the matchup featured a bunch of people getting shined and getting highlighted throughout this one. Nia Jax very early on showing her heel tendency, getting out of the ring, getting out of dodge of the offense, letting the other ladies fight out of it. Zoe Stark got to show off her athleticism. Nia Jax would eventually get into the ring, have a big showdown, show her power over all the other women in the matchup, as did Rhea Ripley, showing her dominance early on. Shayna Baszler was the most impressive spot for me in the matchup, where she just started becoming the submission magician and put on submissions on all the ladies in this matchup. Pretty much had like 2 ankle locks on Raquel and Rhea, while having a rear naked choke, the killer theater clutch on Nia Jax. This was just impressive as hell. Nia would overpower a bunch of the ladies and looked on the verge of victory a couple of times with the Annihilator. At one point, Raquel broke it up and hit a big Tejada bomb, taking Nia Jax out of play in this one. But Shayna Baszler would take the Z360. Zoe Stark would start fighting with Rhea Ripley on the top rope, while Raquel went for a pin cover, and Rhea hit the avalanche riptide onto the pile on everyone, and then pinned Shayna Baszler to retain the WWE Women's World Championship. This match went 11 minutes, 5 seconds. This was a car crash for a lot of it. It was a women's hoss fight, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.25 stars. What did you think?
I also gave this 3.25 stars. I like the fact that it was some fresh faces in this match. We got 5-way. So we got to Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler, 2 people that I think are not really Zoe much, but like Shayna, I feel like she's underutilized, or she doesn't get as many opportunities as she should compared to some people that we see always in the title picture and things of that nature. Also a fresh face in Raquel Gonzalez, having someone matched up against her with like Nia Jax, and then just Rhea Ripley being able to be in just all over the place. She's mainly in the men's faces. She's in the women's faces. She's just in both divisions of WWE. Yeah. So it was good to see. And then the car crashes are always fun. We had the horses. We had the high flyer and Zoe. The horses and Rhea, Raquel, and Nia, and then a submission magician and Shayna Baszler. So it was a little bit of everything in this match, and it worked. It's having multiple people in the match. Everybody can come in, get their spots, get their time to shine, and then take the time to rest, let other people do other things to keep the match going. And that's exactly what this match did. So it sufficed. It served its purpose for being one of the women's matches on the card actually did get a reaction. It did what it was supposed to do.
Unfortunately, it was the only match, the women's match that got a reaction on this card. And Vala B giving us what the referee was saying. What's this? I can't believe it. You're gonna cash in right now? Are you sure?
They do this every time.
Ever since Carmella cashed in, we've been noticing more how dumb these referees. Like, just he gave you the briefcase.
Here's the briefcase. Okay, let's do it. Like, are you sure? You know, we're just trying to make sure. Like, we don't want any discrepancies here.
When it doesn't the right time. Did Triple H approve this?
That's you want to ask that next. I didn't see the script.
We got Queen Monet with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Queen Monet. We appreciate the support. Also, Queen Monet is one of our great Patreon backers as well. Queen Monet saying in 2020 on a TakeOver kickoff show, Triple H told Rhea that within 5+ years, she would be the #1 in the industry. And it seems he's determined to make that happen. She felt and was presented like a megastar. She definitely was. And she's definitely, like, I would say, top 3 in the entire company right now. As far as over push stars in this company.
Oh, for sure. So it's the 3 probably her, Bianca, and Charlotte or Charlotte.
No, I'm not even talking about women.
Oh,
I'm talking about she's top 3 in the company. I'm saying it's Roman, Cody, and Rhea.
Yeah, because she's, like I said, she's in both the men's and women's division, and just basically on every show. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown as well. NXT, you know, when she has the time to do so, like they're just all over the place. So yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all. That's actually a very accurate depiction of what she's been doing.
Yeah. And Chucko Stu saying EO's cash in was quick and easy. That ref knew their job. For once, he was like, nah, it's EO Sky. You can cash in. It's fine. No problem. I understand. Next, we got the matchup that I was very interested because I thought the result was clear and simple. But I do previews with guys like Romeo's, like, it's Saudi Arabia. They're gonna have him win. It's all about him winning. So we go to John Cena going one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. John Cena hasn't won a WWE televised singles matchup in over 5 years, and he is starting to doubt himself, and he needs to prove it against Solo Sikoa. This matchup was I will say overall, this match was a lot better than what we've seen from Cena over the last 2023. I thought that there was a nice effort, and there was a simple to follow story here with Cena early on trying to go after the hand and the thumb of Solo Sikoa after the Samoan spike took him out of play very early. Every time Solo would try to look for the Samoan spike, Cena would reverse out of it. But then we got a long stretch of Solo beating down Cena. Like, it seems like these Cena heat segments go extremely fucking long. They don't need to be that long, John. I'm just saying, John, they don't need to be that long. John Cena, of course, would eventually go for his comeback, hitting the 5 moves of doom. Solo would fight back and fight out of the AA, but eventually Cena would catch him with a choke slam. Cena busting out a new move in this joint. Yeah, he gets a near fall with that one. He eventually would reverse another spike attempt into the STFU, but Solo would fight out of that and get to the ropes. He would look for the AA once again, but Solo would catch John Cena, reversing out of it, and then out of nowhere caught him with a big spike to the throat. Cena was down. He picks up Cena again. Hits him with a second Samoan spike. He hits him with a third Samoan spike. And then a fourth. And then Cena down. He picks him up. And this man just started thumbing him to death. Thumbing his throat to death. He throat fucked him, ladies and gentlemen, with his thumb. with his thumb. Samoan spike death. We saw by Solo Sikoa, who gets the win. 16 minutes, 15 seconds. The Samoan spike now feels like the most dangerous move in the world. It's just a taped up thumb, ladies and gentlemen. Solo Sikoa picks up the biggest win of his WWE career. Post-match, Solo Sikoa walks off. He feels like an absolute monster. It feels like they're building him to be the guy that eventually dethrones Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns walks out of WrestleMania 41 with the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship, then I think they're gonna have Solo win it at 41, because this felt like the start of his ascent up the card. Cena back in the ring. He is solemn. He gets respect from the fans. We get Michael Cole with a great call on commentary saying that Solo Sikoa, now his record will forever say he was the man who retired John Cena. John Cena waves goodbye to the fans as Michael Cole talks in his solemn voice and says, "Is this the end of John Cena? Is this the last that we have seen of the greatest of all time?" The match itself, probably like 3 stars.
Yeah.
This angle, 5 stars. 5-star angle. I'm now interested in the next chapter of John Cena and what's next for him. I'm very much more interested in Solo Sikoa, a guy that just a few weeks ago I had said has stagnated, because I watched the LA Knight match with him where he did about 5 to 6 minutes of nerve holds. And I was like, nah, dude. We don't need no 1980s in ring work here. This was a lot better. The heat segment was still very long, and he doesn't have a lot that he can do in that heat segment. But I think that it was well enough that led into his comeback, led into the finishing sequence, and I thought the finish was chef's kiss. Exactly what I would have done to put over Solo Sikoa. What did you think?
Yes, I also gave this match 3 stars. A better showing of a new, fresher talent in Solo Sikoa facing John Cena. Definitely, because this is going to actually do something for him and actually help his career. We've seen Austin Theory beat John Cena, and it went absolutely nowhere. Didn't do shit for him. So I feel like even Cena knew that, going forward. Yeah, he said what he had to say about Austin Theory and their feud, but he knows the fact that Solo has a bright future ahead of him. Not saying that Austin Theory doesn't, but Solo's actually going to, in my opinion, going to get somewhere with everything that he has going around him. He's matched up with, or paired up with his cousins, his brothers, one of the greatest tag team, or was the greatest tag team WWE history, one of the biggest stars in professional wrestling ever, in Roman Reigns, coming from the family that he comes from. Like, there's no way that he can fail, unless he just something crazy happens. So going forward, this is actually going to propel Solo going forward. Like I've seen people in the chat said, and even we talked about on the stream, like this can actually play into the whole bloodline feud. Like, he might be able to get to the point where he's like, well, shit, I just retired John Cena. Maybe I don't need a Roman, or maybe I can do a little bit more than just what I'm being relegated to, or something of that nature. Because we've seen that be teased as well. Like,
yes.
Roman's trying to move Solo out the way, and he's like, "Who the fuck you think you talking to?" that type of thing. So I like it. I really do like it. I also had Solo winning, because what does this do for John Cena if he wins here? Like, it doesn't do anything for John Cena. It doesn't do anything for Solo. It doesn't progress the story. It just makes it would kind of be a drawback with everything going on. So, like, going forward, this makes Solo look like even more of a threat. Also, it actually makes John Cena look like the underdog that they've been wanting him to look like for so many fucking years. And he actually looks like this now. Like, we already know, can John Cena overcome? Can he? Well, yeah, because he's fucking John Cena, and he's just like one of the most overpowered beings in WWE history. Not no more. At this point in time, he actually is going into matches as an underdog, actually going out, having to put in the work to get over, to get the win. but it didn't work out in his favor. So now it's, oh, is he going to retire, or is he retiring? You know, is this the last we've seen of John Cena? I think that's the last we've seen of John Cena at a Crown Jewel. I don't think it's the last that we've seen of John Cena in WWE altogether. You know, we got these big shows coming up. Survivor, maybe not Survivor Series, Mania. You know, the Royal Rumble. He's going to pop up at least one of those. You know, so again, I don't think that's the end of the John Cena era, but the era, but it's at the end of John Cena. But yeah, going forward, man, this is a great win for Solo. Anybody that beats John Cena, you know, it's great on their record book. If you're not Austin Theory, because this is actually going to be something that can actually propel him to even further to help his career. And again, it's also something that if they're smart and if they actually use the win, it can actually help out the whole bloodline story that I felt has been stagnant at times recently. But going forward, Mal, maybe this can be a new chapter or a new way to introduce other avenues in the story to make it more interesting.
All right, so we got about 20 people watching us across YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. We appreciate y'all for joining us. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, drop the thumbs up on the video. But I say that because we got 20 people here. We got me and Ness, so 22 people, and we have to figure out this equation because it's hurting my head. We have to figure this out, Ness. Listen to me. What did Austin Theory do to John Cena? Did he shit in his bag? Did he maybe try to bag his wife? Did he like not shake his hand when Cena went and was saying hi to everybody? Because like, yo, the way he has put over LA Knight, the way he just put over Solo Sikoa last night, it's like, yo, he just hates Austin Theory. I'm convinced he hates Austin Theory. He's shit in his bag. I don't know what Austin Theory did. I always go to that when someone doesn't like someone in wrestling, they probably shit in their bag. I don't know. I don't know.
I honestly, I don't know. I don't even know. And this is just the markiness of me talking. Maybe it's because, you know, it was the whole fanfare of, oh, I'm Vince's current favorite or next project. I'm going to be the new you, something. And maybe he said that to him.
Maybe he did. I don't know. You're probably right. Maybe he said, yeah, I want to be the next you. And that just totally turned Cena off. Like he meant it in the nicest way possible. Right. But Cena like probably was just like, no.
No. Because it's like, well, we know behind the scenes, we know that Austin Theory's favorite wrestler is John Cena. So like being in there with your favorite is one thing. Telling him that you're going to be better than him or do more than him, that's a whole other conversation. And he probably just like, yeah, that's not happening. We're gonna shut that shit down real quick. But yeah,
you're not gonna be the next me. You're not even gonna get anything from beating me, sir.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make sure of that.
Right, because that's exactly what happened. He won, and it was just like, oh, okay, like you were better off probably losing. At this point, you're probably better off not winning, and then people might have forgot you even faced John Cena. It's bad when you win and people really it does nothing for you. Like you were better off losing.
Yo, word. At that point, you're better off losing if you gain nothing. If he tells you gain nothing from beating him, then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically.
Yeah.
We got in the chat here, Frantic World, who says, I don't watch WWE, but even I feel bad for Austin Theory.
I like what he's at now. As far as
we got Vala B. Vala B says it's not that deep. He probably did shit in Cena's bag.
Oh man, I hope not, because it'll get a lot worse than just losing to Cena and not being fucking featured like shit. I mean, I like the fact that they have him paired with Grayson Waller. I feel like they're both the same kind of character. Obviously, Theory's like, in my opinion, I think he's better in ring. Grayson Waller just has a little bit more, not a little bit more, a lot more personality, so they kind of fit. But yeah, like I don't know. I haven't the slightest idea What did he do? He had this. Yeah, he shit in the bag, man. At this point, he shit in the bag.
In the bag. I mean, Austin Theory, it feels like, you know, they've given him something to do again, and it's a role that I think that he can excel in. But overall, the overall feeling I have for the pairing with him and Grayson Waller, it just feels like a vehicle to get Grayson Waller over, not Austin Theory.
Yeah. So, well, also, I don't think they're going to do this, even though it would be a good idea. I don't know if somebody in the chat said it last night on the live stream, or if it was Romeo that mentioned it. Said pairing the pairing of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, along with Logan Paul, having the three of them be together, that can get Grayson Waller even more over as a heel with the masses and actually bring and probably salvage the career of Austin Theory. Now, again, I don't see them doing that, and it kind of might make a little bit too much sense for WWE to say, hey, that's a good idea. But I like the idea of that. Again, I don't see them doing it. But yeah, Grayson Waller, I feel like Grayson Waller is going to be good regardless. Theory, he's the one that's going to needs the help right now, because you were featured in segments with the owner of the company at one point. The world knew that you were going to be his next pet project. He's out of power, and now it's like, all right, yeah. Triple H is like, yeah, now I got to teach you who really runs this motherfucker, and that's exactly what's happened.
Pretty much, he's like, you're just not there yet, pal.
Yeah,
you're just not there yet. But we'll see. I do like that idea of Logan Paul with Theory and Waller, though I feel like WWE would fall into the trap of just making Theory and Waller his lackeys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's his lackeys or fall guys, basically.
For
sure. We got Bell in the chat who says, I was like, what the fuck is going on with Theory all year? It got a little bit better with his pairing been paired with Grayson Waller, but I hope he has a better 2024. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
We'll see.
Nice way to say it. Safet saying Logan Paul is going to be on SmackDown now. Not exclusively, Safet. He made it clear on that promo when he appeared on Raw that he's going to be the first free agent U.S. champion.
And he's too big of a person to be relegated to, especially SmackDown. You know, nothing wrong with SmackDown, but it's Friday nights. You know, like you'll get more eyes on him on a Monday night. You know, it's the fact that it's the flagship show. So yeah, I didn't see him being relegated to just SmackDown either.
Yep. We got here Frantic World saying, is Austin Theory a Vince guy or a Triple H guy? He's definitely a Vince guy.
Very much a Vince. Very much Vince.
That's why Triple H's way of getting let's see, Vince McMahon's way of getting Austin Theory over was putting the US title on him, then dropping the US title and putting the Money in the Bank on him. He was featured in a WrestleMania main matchup with Pat McAfee, then featured in a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. Like, it's clear as day, Vince was very high on Austin Theory. In comparison to once Triple H got in control, what did he do? Have the worst Money in the Bank cash-in of all time. Then after he has the worst Money in the Bank cash-in of all time and loses, he decides, oh yeah, now I want to push him. And he wins the same title, mid-card title, that he cashed in on in a three-way matchup weeks later. That was his brilliant idea that was going to get him over. Oh no, he dropped the cell phone gimmick was the problem. That was the thing. That was it wasn't that Theory probably just isn't there yet, or they haven't found the right character for him, or they keep trying to make him John Cena Jr. when he's clear as day Randy Orton Jr. No, it's none of that. It's the cell phone gimmick is the issue. So you took the cell phone gimmick away, put the US title on him, and did nothing, and had him feud with John Cena. And let John Cena cut that promo on him, and it hasn't been the same since. Here we go. So, clear as day, Austin Theory, Vince guy.
Yeah.
We got Aubrey who says, this show was boring. I did not feel like that about Crown Jewel until this fucking segment next. We had Miz come out for... for Miz TV. with some actor from the Middle East. I'm gonna say his name wrong. I'm sorry. Abraham Hygiene. They exchange pleasantries before they don't get that far. When Grayson Waller comes out and says that he is interrupting, that he has his people taking over, and they turn it into the Grayson Waller effect. Abrim says he can talk to the both of them. For now, though, he's here to be on the hottest WWE talk show, and he says that is Miz TV. Waller doesn't like that, so a fight is teased. The Miz makes the save. The actor kicks Grayson Waller in the face. He's got his leg up there. Congrats, you did that well. And then he decides to do a people's elbow, which is the worst people's elbow ever on WWE television. And I say that as someone who saw Snoop Dogg do a people's elbow at WrestleMania 39. This was a segment, nothing wrong with it. It was quick. It just felt long. What did you think?
I could have did without this shit altogether. I get that, they want to cool the crowd down, give the segments. Like I could have did without this. This was a waste of time in my opinion.
I did not need this. I did not need this in my life. So, sorry to say. Not a fan. But yes, moving on to the United States Championship was up for grabs next as Rey Mysterio defended against Logan Paul, who showed up, had a whole big entrance with him riding around in this, what is it, DV or EV? I don't know what it's called. Whatever.
I don't even know. That
was riding around in the streets of Saudi Arabia, and then he showed up in the car here to Crown Jewel. We got Logan Paul going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio, and I just gotta say, I sound like a broken record at this point every time he wrestles. Logan Paul is really good, really good at this wrestling thing, and he's in the ring with one of the greatest luchadors of all time, a WWE Hall of Famer, one of Ness's favorite wrestlers of all time. Yeah. And I'm sorry to tell Ness and all of you, Logan Paul was the much better wrestler on this matchup. Logan Paul was just. He was just athletic. He was strong. And Rey, there was just something off about Rey in this matchup. I don't know what it was. There's certain points, and just everything Logan Paul did was just executed flawlessly throughout this matchup, whether it was his buckshot lariat and the fact that he's been watching even more Hangman Adam Page matches because he busts out the fucking moonsault slam from the second rope at one point. Rey would hit a big move at one point. He's on the shoulders of Logan Paul. It looks like Logan Paul is going to do like a one-wing angel, like he's been watching Hangman versus Kenny Omega, but then Rey reverses it into a sunset flip power bomb. The finish comes when it looks like Rey has everything in control, when one of Logan Paul's YouTube friends comes out and tries to hand them the brass knuckles. The brass knuckles are knocked out of his hand when Santos Escobar comes and takes the brass knuckles away from the YouTuber, but dumbass Santos leaves the brass knuckles on the apron. So Logan takes the 619, grabs the brass knuckles, blasts Rey on the springboard, and then pins him 1, 2, 3, 17 minutes, 53 seconds. Logan Paul, your new United States champion. I thought this was a good match overall. Like I said, I thought that Logan Paul was just clear as day, just much better than Rey in this instant. Even one spot where Rey came up short on a moonsault and almost just went head first down into the center of the earth. Logan Paul's instincts are just on the money. He gets up, he steps up and grabs Rey, stops on his knee before Rey can drop on his head, and then picks him up into a side slam. Man, Logan Paul is special. I love the post match as well, where Paul praises Rey and says that he did what he had to do, even though Rey is saying, "You know what you did." Enjoyed the matchup. I give it 3.5 stars. What did you think?
I give it 3 3/4 stars. I enjoyed it a lot. Like you say, at this point, man, Logan's just like, I feel like he's just like not a regular WWE superstar, but like he has all the talents that if he just said, I don't want to do YouTube no more, I don't want to do this, I don't do that, he can come into the company And at some point, shit, he could challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. We've already seen him challenge for the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. I feel like he can probably run with the top title in the company at this point. The match I enjoyed a lot. So my only criticism really, and it's more so storyline driven. Santos, man, I don't understand why you
Dummy.
like, yeah, this is stupid. You leave the brass knuckles that you just stole away from the lackey. You leave it there. Now I might be wrong, because usually my iteration of the LWO, they were heels. There wasn't a lot of like babyface shit going on. They did a lot of dastardly shit back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm missing that from this version of LWO, and I think it's solely because Rey is a part of them. I've secretly been waiting for Santos to turn on Rey Mysterio for months,
We all have.
for a very, very, very long time. And I shouldn't be wishing for that man's downfall, because he is one of my pretty much one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. But they need that spark back. I seen a I don't know if it was a meme or whatever was the case. It was a listing of the LWO's championships. It was Rey Mysterio this, Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, Carlito. The only other person out of Rey Mysterio, Carlito that had a championship is Santos, and that was the NXT Cruiserweight title that doesn't even exist anymore. This group of individuals need a face of their own. They need an identity of their own that's not Rey Mysterio. That's basically what this group is. It's they're putting the whole LWO history and everything that they've done on Rey Mysterio. Not a problem with that for me per se, but in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years, if these guys are all still going to be within the company, I don't see Rey Mysterio wrestling for another 10 years. I would love for it to happen, but he won't be at the caliber that he is now, which wasn't at the caliber that he was from years before. So you need to like establish this group of individuals, and the majority of these guys in the group, they spent most of their WWE careers as heels. Santos is mainly a heel. Selena Vega, mainly a heel.
That's true.
Everybody else is just the group is mainly heels, but since they're aligned with Rey Mysterio, they're all faces. So I'm hoping that they can try to salvage that accident of Santos leaving the brass knuckles there, and maybe they try to turn it around, and maybe this is just a ploy for Santos to like, look, I'm going to be the head of the group. I'm going to be leading now. We're going to be, cutthroat and ruthless. And at some point, maybe we can get a Santos versus Rey Mysterio feud. That would be something that I would love to see that happen. But yeah, going forward, man, I want to see what Logan Paul does as far as United States champion. I hope he's a fighting champion. I know he has a very busy schedule of everything that he has going on, and in WWE and without, outside of WWE, all his own personal things he has going on as far as businesses are concerned. But I would really I hope they don't usually just, we're going to give Logan Paul the title, and he shows up like every other month, and he's not doing anything with it. I really want them to utilize and actually have him. He doesn't have to show up every week. He doesn't have to wrestle every week. As long as he's just not in the back of our minds is the fact that he is the U.S. Title holder. That's all I'm asking. That's just make sure that he's actually not a forgotten thought, But other than that, I want to say kudos to him as well as to the save Rey Mysterio. I don't know the miscommunication. I do feel like Rey was a little bit off in this match, maybe because he was like, all right, fucking, I'm about to lose. It doesn't matter. So maybe that would have been it, But yeah, kudos to Logan for protecting his fellow wrestler in that match, because as much people that don't want to admit it, he is a wrestler. Like, he's had multiple matches. This is like second nature to him now. He's a wrestler. He's a superstar, WWE superstar at that. So give him his props. I forgot the guy's name that we were on the stream. He just hates Logan Paul. I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan of him as in a personal sense, but I'm not going to let that affect how I see him in a WWE ring. He goes out there and he performs at a high caliber of talent. So, I got to give him his shine. I got to give him his praise for that, because it's not easy. And for someone like him to come in and catch on so quickly and to go out and produce with top talent. It's not like he's in there with jobbers and he's beating them up. He's in there with Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins. Like, he's in there with the top level guys. So he's definitely handling his own. So much praise to Logan, and congratulations on becoming U.S. champ.
Yes, I think this was an excellent move by WWE, putting the U.S. Championship on there. It's going to get more eyes on the U.S. Championship than ever before. And I think that WWE did a great job of setting challengers up for Logan Paul in the build-up to this as well, whether it's his still ongoing issue with Ricochet on Monday Night Raw, or a little tease of a stare-down with Kevin Owens on SmackDown, and then everything that went down before Money in the Bank with him and LA Knight sets up that matchup for WrestleMania, which I think is going to be where Logan Paul drops the title.
Yes, that'll be the title that LA Knight gets.
You can get that one. You ain't getting the real one.
Yeah, that'll be the one he gets.
We got Josh in the chat. He says, "I'm just gonna say it. I'm okay with Logan Paul winning. It's the U.S. title. Exactly. Like, It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal."
Yeah, and then with the way, like, as far as mid-card titles go, Gunther's been IC title is never hasn't been as spotlighted, I'll say, as much as it has been under Gunther's reign. With for someone a better name, Shinsuke. Like, when Shinsuke had it, like, he just had it. He just had it. Like, you guys just had it. I feel like what Gunther's done with the IC title and has elevated it, that Logan Paul can do that and actually make the title mean something, because it's been a long time that both of these mid-card titles meant something. It's usually one means something and then the other one's just like, all right, whatever, like, we forgot about it. So hopefully going forward, now both of these titles can get the recognition and the spotlight they need at the same time, simultaneously, instead of one over the other.
And Triple H tried this last year when he had Seth Rollins with the title, but when he tried to make it a project with Theory, that's where he kind of lost lost the script with that title. But let's talk about the WWE Women's Championship up for grabs as Bianca Belair challenged the champion Io Sky. Both women were looking good here in their Saudi Arabia themed outfits here. And the story of the matchup was a good one, as Bianca tried to use her speed, her strength early on, but Io had a game plan and went after the previously injured knee, and that became her focus throughout the matchup. But the match throughout this whole period, where I thought they were wrestling a pretty decent to good matchup, the crowd was completely silent. Like, it was scary silent during Mysterio and Logan Paul, where I was like, this is the Logan Paul match. Why are they not responding? And then this one, I was just like, wow, yeah, they really just died on us for a little bit, or they're saving themselves for the last two matches. I don't know. But the story of the match was pretty simple, with Io working over the knee of Bianca Belair. Bianca would, of course, make her comeback, and that's when Bayley would show up wearing that disco outfit.
Man. We had to contain ourselves on the stream last night, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure you did, sir. I'm sure you did. Belair crashes off the top rope. Belair falls out to the floor, and there's a moonsault to knock her silly. We get Bayley trying to getting involved on the outside, which leads to Io Sky accidentally blasting Bayley. This didn't stop Bayley from still getting involved, so Bianca decides she's gonna take her out. She rams Io into the barricade, then picks up Bayley and goes for the KOD when a small figure comes out of the crowd, pulls Bayley out of the way. Bianca's looking at her shocked. For a moment, I was like, is this Zelina? Is this Dakota? Who is this? It is Kairi Sane. She is back in WWE. She blasts Bianca with a spinning back fist. Then she goes to the barricade. It's a big elbow off the barricade with Bianca crashing into the ring post. Bianca would get back into the ring at the count of 9, just in time for Io Sky to hit over the moonsault to retain the WWE Women's Championship. 16 minutes, 36 seconds. After the matchup, Io and Kairi celebrate. She hugs her. They raise their hands in the middle of the ring. And I thought Michael Cole and Bayley just put a nice little cherry on top of this whole entire angle as the camera cuts to the outside and we see a look of shock and just fear overcome Bayley as she sees Io and Kairi celebrating in the ring. And Michael Cole says on commentary that the last time we saw Kairi Sane was Bayley attacking her right out of the company. So a very interesting setup for a new angle in the women's division that finally the women's division feels like they have an angle or a story that has some legs to it, in a similar fashion to the bloodline. I think that's what a lot of fans have been waiting for, and just Kairi coming in this way, and the setup for all of this is very interesting. What the dynamics of Damage Control are going to be from here on out. I thought the match was a good matchup. I gave it 3.5 stars. The crowd just did not respond to it. I like the Kairi return. I like the angle, how it was all done, and yeah, like I said, I'm actually really looking forward to how this story is going to develop from here. Ness?
Yeah, I also gave it 3.5 stars because, again, the match itself was very good. I didn't have an issue with the match itself. It was just like, for whatever reason, the crowd was dead for this. And I honestly, I don't even have a reason why. I'm not even going to try to come up with one. But the angle of Kairi coming back is a lot happened here. Also, they were dead for that too. Like that did piss me off. I'm like, all right, it's one thing that, it's one thing to not want to give the match to these women, give them the adulation that they deserve. Okay, that's one thing. Now you get a return that nobody really saw coming. You don't say anything about that. This is a story that's actually going to progress even further. That's if WWE does it right, because it's a lot here. Just like I said, that Bayley attacked Kairi out of the company. There was the one part where Io accidentally hits Bayley. At this point, I'm like, well, maybe was it an accident now? It
was when Chaco saying in the chat, he says Io's reaction when she hit Bayley, it wasn't oh no, it was oh well.
Yeah, it's just like well, and then that's another thing too. So we're in wrestling media, wrestling journalism to an extent. So we know about all these things. We didn't know that she was going to be at this show, but we knew that Kairi was coming back to the company. So once we got word that, me personally, I'm saying, oh, this is a way to get her away from Damage Control. And they immediately had it happen as soon as she comes back, like literally as soon as she comes back. And I love the fact that that's probably what they're going to do going forward. This will make Io look 10 times, well, once she looks 10 times more badass now than her whole run with Damage Control, because for the longest they were just looked at as like jokes. Their booking was fucking terrible. It was horrible. Like I felt bad for them as a group at one point. Weekly, monthly, when are you going to stop this shit, Triple H? Break them up. Get them away from each other. He tried to salvage it. At this point now he's looking like, yeah, we're just going to move them away from each other, slowly but surely. Again, it doesn't need to happen immediately. I'm here for the slow burn if it happens in that nature. Maybe even turning Bayley back babyface, that can help the situation as well. Keep Io and Kairi over his heels, or whatever the case may be, whatever they want to do with it. It just works. It's working for me right now, and I just hope they don't fumble it going forward. Also, I don't know if they faced each other outside of this. I remember Kairi and Bianca Belair facing off, and was it the You might be able to
The Mae Young Classic.
the Mae Young
That was like
Classic. Yeah, I
that
think
was
it
like
was a
by
semifinal.
Bianca's first
Right?
good matchup. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they can even pull back from what was that 2017? They can go back even that far in the history books to even mention that on commentary going forward. Like there's so many different little nuances in this story alone that can continue to create even more going forward. So like I actually hope that they are watching this and get these ideas from us. Just give us some credit, free tickets or anything like that.
Well,
And
they did.
put this.
There
put
is a
this.
rumor now that this is the start of this like Joshi World Order stable that these two are
Yes.
going to be joined up with by Asuka.
Yeah.
And then Sean Ross Sapp over on Fightful's Crown Jewel post show said that WWE is now looking to bring back Saray.
Yeah. So look, yeah, that's something that that's desperately needed. Like there's representation. We're always going to be represented. I know a lot of fellow African Americans, they feel like they don't really get as much representation. We've been getting the most representation in WWE in a long ass time. Like let's not try to play ourselves. There's always going to be the Latin community, because they got Rey Mysterio and then guys of that nature. But I feel like the Asian community doesn't get the best track record of their stars outside of Asuka. Let them get their shine. Like since Shinsuke, he's upper to mid card. If they're not they forgot he's even in the fucking company, they're actually trying to utilize him more now. Even the same with Xia Li, they're going to use her going forward. Hopefully they're actually doing something with her and not just having her come out for a little bit and forget that she's in catering. And going forward, I hope that, the rumors of this new Joshi team, I actually hope that they are putting them together and make them a formidable force, because again, I love this talent. I want to see them thrive. I want to see them do the best that they can do, but it's only so much you can do if you're not utilized or if you're booked to shit. And that's the track record with WWE doing that. So I'm hoping, I'm praying that going forward that this is the turn of a new leaf, and they're actually going to make them be a dominant force going forward once this group actually is put together. I think you're muted.
Excuse me, sorry about that. No, but we shall see what goes down with Kairi. I'm looking forward to what's next with Damage Control, because this is the most interesting story that the women's division has had in a long time on the main roster.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next matchup on the card, but first, we got a couple of comments to highlight here. We got Aubrey James, who says it's because they're racist. They hate black women. Okay, wow, I didn't know. We got Fritz.
Oh well, Bianca Belair wins.
It's like Bianca Belair wins every single time, and she loses once. And you're like, they hate black women. Francis Well says, I'm happy that Kairi is back in WWE, but it's the booking for me. Booking has been better for the women.
Yeah.
And Francis World, you watch AEW. Ain't like you seeing better women's booking over there. Just saying. We got Bella in the chat who says, I like the idea of Asuka teaming with them because of the connections there with her teaming with Io for a while in Japan, and of course also with Kairi. Yeah, that's basically why. That's why they want to do the Joshi World Order. But moving on to another group that is established in WWE, the Judgment Day was represented in the next matchup by Senior Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, who almost looked naked without his briefcase. I was like, something is missing here. And the crowd let him know about it by chanting, "Where's your briefcase?" throughout his entrance and this matchup. He was facing Cody Rhodes, who still had the banged up ankle, which would become a factor in this matchup. And even early, Damian Priest would gain control when he attacked Cody before the bell, but he gets knocked outside rather quickly back in. Cody is slugging away. They are fighting. They fight back into the matchup, but Damian Priest uses his size and strength to keep Cody down. He keeps teasing, going for his version of the Crossroads, the Reckoning. He hits it on the announce table at one point, but Cody, of course, is able to make his comeback, and he looks like he's on the verge of victory when he reverses a Reckoning attempt into a Crossroads, but Finn Balor comes out for a distraction. Then JD McDonagh comes out, allowing Damian Priest to hit South of Heaven for a near fall. When Dominic Mysterio comes out with a steel chair, though, Cody finally has some backup in Jey Uso, who starts clearing house with some super kicks, running JD, Dom, and Finn to the back. It's down to Cody and Damian Priest. Cody fights back with the flip-flop and fly and bionic elbow, but the Crossroads is broken up. Super kick knocks Priest out of the air, though, and then he hits a Cody cutter for a 2. Priest fights back, but Cody is able to reversal into a Crossroads to get the victory. 11 minutes for this one here. Cody Rhodes picking up another big victory as he continues to write his story on the road to WrestleMania 40. Cody wins. I give this matchup 3.5 stars. I thought it was not much that we wouldn't have saw on a main event of Monday Night Raw, though.
Honestly, I gave it 3 stars just because of that. I felt like it was a Monday Night Raw match. Not that it was bad, but it just didn't have the PLE pay-per-view big fight feel to it that a lot of the other matches had. But it was just like, felt like we've seen this on Monday Night Raw. So it didn't do a lot for me.
And this was also the 3rd match in a row with major interference involved in it. And it's just like, this was the point where I was like, I started noticing it, and I was like, okay, that's a little too much.
Well, you knew it was going to happen in the next match too, as well.
Exactly. That's what bothered me so much with this match, because I was like, well, we're going to get it for a 4th match in a row. We know that already.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait till we get to the MVP LVP action. But again, I'm not gonna wait. Fucking Judgment Day, man. These guys are first Priest. Well, not even the whole Judgment Day, because at least Rhea Ripley went out there, did what she was supposed to do, and she brought the title home. I don't know what the fuck the rest of these guys at Judgment Day are doing. Losing briefcases, losing matches, getting ran off by one person. It's 3 of you guys. You come out with a fucking chair and you get ran off by Jey Uso just by himself.
Yep.
Sami didn't even come back to help him. It was just Jey Uso by himself. Y'all could have jumped his ass. I don't get the logic of the Judgment Day. I really don't. But maybe I'm not suspending my belief enough. I don't know. I don't know.
You need to suspend your disbelief
I know.
more than we are doing already. Next up was the main event of the evening, LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. I did love the video package for this matchup. It was just really well done. The music, how they edited everything, just so superbly done. WWE always knocks those out the park. LA Knight gets the big heroes welcome coming out in Saudi Arabia. Fans chanting "Yeah" during his entrance. Whole row of fans, a sea of fans with "Yeah Nation" signs. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns, man, he's got one of the best entrances ever. I'm sorry. This is just like Final Boss. Like nothing reads Final Boss more than a Roman Reigns entrance and listening to his theme song. Just cool shots throughout this one, like this one, before we get into the action. And the action started different from the regular Roman Reigns matchup. We expected, the feeling out process. Roman takes advantage, slows it down, blah, 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 blah. No, we started off with LA Knight coming out and knocking Roman Reigns on his ass. We start off fast with him hitting a big neck breaker. He knocks Roman Reigns to the apron, elbow to the chest, sends him to the floor, clothesline to the floor. But Roman is able to slug him off, throw him into the canvas, and then finally he takes control and we see Roman Reigns slow it down. But throughout the matchup, LA Knight would hit some hope spots and it looked like he was on the verge of getting back into this one. Hits a big torture rack neck breaker for a near fall. The LA elbow is broken up by Superman punch for a near fall. We get both men down with Reigns needing a breather. Then he goes for a spear, but LA Knight leapfrogs out of it, and Roman Reigns runs into the buckle. Roman headbutts his way out of a superplex, but LA Knight jumps up, hits the big top rope superplex, then hits the LA elbow. But once he hits that, it is time for Jimmy Uso to get involved. And he comes out, and that causes enough of a distraction for Roman Reigns to hit another Superman punch, a big spear. 1, 2. LA Knight kicks out of the spear, the frustration written all over Roman Reigns' face. He goes for the guillotine, but Knight is able to fight out of it. He throws Roman into the corner and then hits the BFT. 1, 2. Jimmy Uso puts Roman's foot on the ropes. LA Knight comes up short as he only gets a 2 count. LA Knight starts beating the absolute crap out of Jimmy Uso, throwing him outside, but this causes enough of a distraction for Roman to hit a big Superman punch. He follows that up with a big barricade spear. He throws LA Knight into the ring, hits a third spear. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. 20 minutes, 4 seconds. I thought this was a better Roman Reigns championship matchup than what we saw at SummerSlam. I thought that this was much better because they switched up the formula before we got into the usual formula. Yeah. Like we did, at least we didn't get a rough bump. At least it wasn't 30 minutes long. I'll take this kind of Roman Reigns title defense over over the one we got at SummerSlam any day of the week. And I actually thought it was LA Knight, the great match that I've been saying LA Knight needs for WWE management to believe in him. I think this was it. I give it 4 stars.
Yeah, also I give it 4 stars. This felt like it was a main event worthy. Again, everything that you expect in a Roman Reigns match. Half of that happened, but like you said, the other half of slowing it down from the start, it didn't feel like that. LA Knight came in with the energy, wanted to take over because storyline wise, you say, look, I can't let him dictate how this match is going to go. I have to come in and I have to do what I have to do. One part of the match that I did like, this is part when Jimmy already came in. He put Jimmy through the table. The sell of Jimmy going through the table, he just like rolled over on his face and just laid there for like the rest of the match. I thought that was hilarious. But I also like the fact that they protected LA Knight in the loss with going through the barricade first, having to take 3 spears because Roman does that to like high caliber talent like Cody, Brock Lesnar, like guys of that.
Cena.
Yeah, Cena, guys like that. Like he has to continue to do spears and stuff like that to like put them away, and he had to do that to LA Knight. So only if him being over with the crowds, whether it be in American soil or overseas, it's more to that than just being over and having catchphrases and being able to talk. You have to at least produce in the ring, and I feel like LA Knight was able to do that, hanging with Roman Reigns. Also, going forward, back to the whole Solo Sikoa thing. I don't know. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know specifically if Solo wasn't supposed to come out to help in this match. It's just I don't know. It's kind of telling that he didn't, because usually Solo and Jimmy comes out, or the whole bloodline comes out to help. And the fact that he didn't also is very telling to me that, I beat Cena, I could probably beat you too. You gotta get some LA Knight. You don't need my help. You got Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy couldn't get the job done, so you ended up having to do it your damn self. Oh, if I was out there, you would have won, but I probably would have made it a lot easier. That's all these little underlying nuances that I think that if they're smart enough to keep the story going between, within the bloodline. Because I'm pretty sure Jimmy's going to hear like, yo, how'd you get your ass whooped like that? Or we might have to hear like, oh, Solo, where were you at? He doesn't really talk, but He's like, yeah, now you got to give us an explanation. But who knows? Whatever the case may be, it was a good match. I hope that this just continues LA Knight on his rise. That eventually, like you said, facing off against Logan Paul, maybe at Mania for the United States Championship. I think that'll be a great culmination story for him. Don't see him as world heavyweight champion, WWE champion at the moment. Who knows? At this time next year, it could be totally different. He could have he could progress even more in his career with WWE. But I do like the idea of him facing Logan Paul at Mania for the U.S. title and just getting more looks, getting more spots. Hopefully, he doesn't get relegated to catering or just falling down on the card. Because after you get your ass whooped by Roman, we're looking for another victim. And who knows who's going to be the next victim going forward. But I like the fact that LA Knight was able to hold his own against one of the top guys in company history.
Yeah, we just had to see if LA Knight belonged in this moment, in this main event scene. And I think that he did that. He had a very entertaining matchup. He seemed like he had the poise for the moment, and he executed everything he needed to well. And I thought, yeah, the fact that it needed 3 spears was a great way to protect him, and the fact that Roman needed Jimmy Uso and the interference to bait him as well was a step to keep him strong enough to keep going with this momentum. I think that LA Knight is in a good spot. He's going to beat up Jimmy Uso for a couple of more months here, and then maybe he gets into the War Games. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that LA Knight's in a much better position than what he was definitely this time last year.
Yeah, definitely.
But yes, that brings us to a close on WWE Crown Jewel 2023. Sound off in the live chat. Let us know your match of the night, MVP, LVP. Whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? If you're watching on demand, you can let us know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, drop the thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. And last call for super chat donations. We want to hear your final thoughts on WWE Crown Jewel. So you could do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. But for me and Ness, let's put our thumbs in the middle for WWE Crown Jewel 2023. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from me and Ness. Ness, out of 10, what did you give the show?
I give it an 8. I like the show. Like I didn't think it was anything bad. Aside from like the crowd, some of the booking that I'm not really gonna put on this show specifically because it's actually been months and weeks of the booking that led up to this. But I give it an 8. I think it was decent.
Yeah, I think a solid 8 out of 10 seems like the best way. I was tossing up between 7.5, 8 out of 10, but I think that the Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre matchup, the main event, those were the best matches on the show. I think those are the ones that kind of keep it above that 8 level, and everything else, the big moments like Kairi's return or John Cena being destroyed. I think that, that's a strong 8 out of 10 type show. Your match of the night, Ness.
So I'm kind of torn between the opener or the U.S. title match. I think I'm just going to go with the opener. Again, they set the bar high, a great energy to the match, and still like even more storytelling going forward. I'll be checking out Monday Night Raw to see if what they're going to do with Drew McIntyre. I'm really interested what they're going to do with Drew McIntyre going forward.
World's most interesting man, Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I totally agree with you. The opener of the World Heavyweight Championship matchup, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. It's in the title of our video here. It was a show stealer, so definitely my match of the night. MVP for the show, Ness.
Logan Paul. I gotta give it to Logan Paul. Going out there again, still performing at a high rate, being new to this, or being newer to this than a lot of other people, and then winning the U.S. championship. Got to give him his props for that.
big night for a lot of guys. LA Knight having the biggest match of his career. Logan Paul, like you said, I think that he would get my honorable mention for MVP, winning the U.S. Championship and really being a better wrestler than Rey Mysterio in this match. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry. But my MVP, and Kairi Sane returned as well. Just want to mention that. But my MVP is Solo Sikoa for destroying and throat fucking John Cena with his goddamn thumb.
Yeah, now Cena's just nobody knows what's going to happen to him. So yeah,
that man can't talk.
Potentially
he can't do it. He can't talk. He can't do acting. It's done. It's over. Love to see it.
That's the end of the career.
Solo. I'm a Solo Sikoa guy now, guys. Your LVP for the show.
Oh man. Oh fucking God. So it's gonna be the Judgment Day, except Rhea Ripley, because she, even though she's associated with losers, she didn't lose. So she won her match. Priest lost his match, lost the briefcase. Fucking the rest of these guys get ran off. JD McDonagh lost his match, gets beat up 1-on-3 by fucking Jey Uso. Like, these guys, this is the thing I have with the Judgment Day. At one point, they're fucking an unstoppable force. And then another time, they look like fucking idiots. I wish we would just stick to one side. There's nothing wrong with losing. There's nothing wrong with, they're not always going to win. But it's the way that they're losing and the way that they just look just inferior to whoever else that they're up against at times. It just looks so, it's just so stupid.
They look like dummies.
They do. They just look fucking stupid. They look dummies. They look just like dummies. I don't get it.
When one guy or two guys can beat up a group of four guys, like, yeah, it's always
and they're supposed to be like the dominant force in the brand, like, or just across all boards. They're supposed to be running roughshod over SmackDown, Raw, NXT. Shit, if they gave a fuck about Level Up and Main Event, they'd probably be on there too. But they don't. They
don't care.
Yeah, they don't care about that. I don't care about it either.
Also fair. And yeah, I'm gonna go LVP, not the entire Judgment Day, but definitely Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Damian Priest lost his match against Cody Rhodes. He lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. He lost the opportunity to cash in Saudi Arabia on a banged up Seth Rollins. He's just a loser. Yeah. They gave him the Finn Balor treatment. How Finn Balor was treated in his feud with Seth Rollins. So
yeah, they just moved it over. Like, oh, you're going to be in this position now. They just replaced them.
And Dolores echoing what I'm saying LVP Priest lost the briefcase with the messed up braids in his head. Queen Monet said LVP Judgment Day and Drew because he should have taken Rhea's offer. Good shot. Good points were made. And Safet says Bailey and Priest, which I don't think Bailey can be the LVP in that outfit. But anyway, yes. We've come to a close on another pay-per-view review. Thank you, Ness, for joining me here. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you next time, sir.
You guys can follow me on social media. Because, again, I said this too. I always forget that Twitter now is X. I still say Twitter. You guys can follow me on X and Instagram at skinny__Kravitz right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. This Tuesday, making my return, hopefully. Trying to make my return. If not on time, I will be running a little late. NX3, myself, Chris G, and Romeo Anthony Colon. We go live watching NXT. Thursdays on Twitch. Myself and Chris G, we go live watching Impact Wrestling. That's Blunt Impact. And whatever other reviews might pop up on Elite Heat, things of that nature. Trying to get back into the flow of things.
Yes, we're glad to have Ness back with us here on the channel. Glad to be doing these WWE PLE reviews with him here. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. If you want the best way to support us when we're not on screen here, patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you a part of the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship. Plus, you get more perks. We'll also be having giveaways starting in 2024 over at patreon.com/True Hill Heat for a lot of our merchandise, where you can find it at prowrestlingtees.com/True Hills or foryourwear.com/True-Heel-Heat. Excuse me. And check out all the great content right now. We got Patreon this weekend, our Fighting Spirit Unleashed, a review from New Japan Pro Wrestling in Las Vegas. We also had the True Hill Heat Flagship podcast yesterday morning with myself, Top Guy JJ, as well as Baby Seth, making a return to the flagship as we discuss this week in wrestling and final predictions for Crown Jewel. And tomorrow we'll go live at 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time with our NJPW Power Struggle 2023 review. So join me, J News, and Sanal for all of that. I hope to see you all then. Final comments to highlight here. We got our good friend Stu, who says, see you for the Power Struggle review, aka 5-star shooter. And we also got Safet, who says MVP Bailey's outfit. Goddamn. And we also got Safet, who says Billy gets the MVP for that. He had to reiterate it.
Yeah. I'm not opposed to it. That's a honorable mention. Bailey in that outfit. Yeah, honorable mention.
For Ness, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our WWE Crown Jewel 2023 review. We are signing off until next time.